Hello and welcome to the Room Zoo tutorial on growing seeds. Um, it's so very important to our world to have things growing. The plants provide the photosynthesis like the rainforest, and that provides oxygen for us. And that's why springtime is my favorite time of year, because it is when everything is starting to come alive. The trees are fuzzy right now because their leaves are about to bloom, and there are tulips and daffodils and peonies are coming up, and pansies. You can put pansies out right now. They love this kind of weather, and they come in all sorts of colors. And I just love the garden. I love being in the garden. I love pulling weeds. I love getting my hands in the dirt. It feels so good. It's so cool, and I don't know, there's just something about connecting to the earth that I absolutely love. So I'm going to teach you how to plant some seeds inside, because right now it's not really a great time for most plants to be outside because it's so cold and we still have a chance of frost. So you kind of want to wait until after Mother's Day to put seeds in the ground. After Mother's Day is generally the time when we don't have a frost anymore. So plants rely on a couple things to grow. They of course need dirt, they need water, they need sunshine, which we have none of right now, and they need a seed, right? So they need the little seeds. So I had asked you to maybe start collecting eggs if you have breakfast, and just clean them out and keep them in a container. You only need about half of the shell, and these are cleaned out. And I filled some of them already. And what you're just going to do is you're going to take this and put some dirt in it. And you want to leave a little room on top because we're going to fill it up. I'm just going to use my hands because, like I said, I like to get my hands in the dirt. And this one's a little, this one I'm going to pull a little bit of the shell back because it's a little too, and see how I'm leaving some room there on the top. And you can do any kinds of seeds. Right now you can like plant, oops, that was a mess. You can plant peas, I think beans. I'm going to take a little bit of this off too. You can plant lettuces, I believe, but most flowers except for pansies and then things that are already in the ground, bulbs like daffodils and tulips, they can go outside. Pansies love the chillier, colder weather, and once it gets hot, they get really, what I call, they get really leggy. They start to go away, and pansies are one of my favorite plants. I'll have to bring some in to show you because they have little faces. Oh, eek! All right, I should have cleaned my, all right, so there we go. I'm not going to use this one because it's just too shallow, so we're just going to crunch that up. And you'll see why I'm doing that, because that's why we are using the eggshells. So anyway, I am going to use zinnias. Zinnias are wonderful. You can put these right in the ground. Usually what I do with zinnias is I do just sprinkle them right on the ground, and I come out. And then I just cover them with dirt, and they come in all sorts of colors. They come in all sorts of designs. They come green, and these are called fruit smoothie, the fruit smoothie mix. So you're going to take these leaves, they're kind of, look, they're just really tiny. I'm going to put about 3 seeds in each. And then we're going to do sugar snap peas. Sugar snap peas are a little bigger. They look like peas because the peas are the seeds. So we will put 2 each in here because you don't want to crowd them. Okay, and we'll do 3 sugar snap peas. Oops, I just said put 2 and then I put 3 in there. Silly Miss Pemley. Okay, and then I have sweet peas. Now these aren't eating peas, but sweet peas are wonderful. They're climbers, so they're good things to put on fences, and they smell so good. They are so good. And my mom would always put them in her, she'd always pick them as she'd have little bouquets of them. And you know, sometimes things like sweet peas, I'm going to spread them out a little bit with my spoon. It's good to soak them first, sweet peas and maybe even the nasturtiums. Sometimes these bigger seeds, it's a little better to soak them, but we're just going to do them this way. And then I'm going to do nasturtiums. And I don't know if you remember, nasturtiums were one of Claude Monet's favorite flowers. And again, they are really colorful, and you can eat them. I'm not kidding. You can eat nasturtiums. They are kind of, I don't want to say spicy, but they kind of have a little bit of a spice to them. I'm going to do a couple more of the sweet peas. Come on, sweet pea. And then I'm going to do a couple more of the zinnias. So you probably noticed the zinnias were the smallest seeds. They were flat, so all seeds look different. They look flat. The nasturtiums are kind of wrinkly. They're kind of wrinkly. The peas look just like peas, and then the sweet peas are kind of like little peas too. All right, so now that we have our seeds in there, and remember I'm going to hold, I have this too. I've got a glass jar. I filled it with dirt. I'm going to be putting a beet seed in here, but I forgot to bring them. But if you guys have any kind of a little jar, it's just kind of fun. You can make your own root view garden. So next, you've got to take dirt and cover them all up. Put them to sleep. Give them a little blanket of warmth. Night-night, little seeds. We're going to cover them all up nice and loosely. You don't have to stomp it down with your fingers. They'll be just fine. And see, I'm adding some of those shells in there just because the shell provides calcium, and that's good for them. And that's why I'm having you do this in eggshells, because once the seeds, I should have used that one as an example. Once the seeds germinate and they grow taller and they're ready for, I'm just going to contain the dirt in here a little bit, and they are ready to go outside, you're going to take, oh, I have an egg over here. Hold on, I'm going to run and get another eggshell. Once it's full, you're going to take the eggshell, and let's pretend this eggshell has a garden in it. Before you plant it, you're going to gently crush it around your seed. So you'll have dirt in there too. So you'll have the little plant there, and the plant should have roots that'll stay stable. And then you're going to put that into the garden with the flowers when you plant it outside. And that will provide it some food. It likes the calcium for food. And then, of course, the next step you need to do is add water. So I have this little pitcher. And then you remember the next step? Where are we going to put this? Are we going to put this in our basement? Are we going to put it under a table? No. Plants need sunlight. So I'm going to put it in the window here at the preschool. And just keeping it in the egg carton also helps contain it. So here's what happens. Seeds come in different sizes and shapes, as you've seen, and inside every seed there's a tiny plant waiting to grow. They become flowers like daffodils. Well, the seed is a bulb too. Sunflowers, zinnias, sweet peas, nasturtiums. Some seeds fall close to the plants that made them, so when the flowers die, they become seeds. And other seeds are blown in the wind to other locations, and this can happen when seeds like run into the rivers or streams, or if birds eat them, and then they, sorry to say, then they poop them out. Birds help to plant seeds, and they have to be in soil or resting on top of the soil in order to sprout. And when it rains, the coats on the outsides of the seeds are softened. So that seeds, it's hard right now. See how it's hard, and I can't push my finger in it, but the water softens it. And afterwards, the sun helps warm the ground, and then the seed coats open. They open up, and the seeds begin to grow. Roots grow down into the ground and absorb water and minerals from the soil, like the eggshell. And then shoots are the part of the plants that come out of the ground, like in my root view plants. Then green leaves unfold from the plant stems and grow up toward the sun. Leaves take in sunlight and produce food for the plant through a process called photosynthesis, which we talked about in our rainforest. Next, with flowering plants, when they're fully grown, their buds blossom into colorful flowers where new seeds grow. So you'll notice when the flowers die, they produce seeds. Before seeds can grow, they must be pollinated. Sometimes the wind blows pollen from flower to flower. So the pollinated is that part in the middle. It's kind of fuzzy, and it's the stuff that the bees come and collect. They collect pollen for honey. Oftentimes the colors and scents of flowers attract insect pollinators, such as bees. And when bees visit a flower, pollen lands on their bodies, and afterward they carry the pollen to other flowers when visiting them for nectar. So they go from seed to seed, or plant to plant. And seeds grow inside the flowers of plants. As the seeds get bigger, fruit or pods grow out around them. And when the fruit or pods break open, the seeds are ready to become new plants. The seed to plant cycle begins again. So plants are really important. They're really fun. And I hope that you will make your own garden. If you haven't, some of you may have already been doing some planting. But if you do happen to come by the preschool, I'll have my seeds in the window, this seed, for you to keep an eye on. And if you need any more pointers, let me know. If you need seeds in your next packet, let me know, because I've got plenty of seeds I can share. But that's it for today. Grow plants. It's a wonderful thing to do. It's a way to connect to the earth. It is a wonderful thing afterwards because you are growing your own food so you can eat them. And it's a beauty to your eyes. It's like nature's art is flowers. And if you guys could be in the classroom right now, I can hear the rain on the roof. And I just love the sound of it. I know it's kind of not a very great day today, but I just love the sound of it. And that's it for today's class. Tomorrow I'm going to talk a little bit more about bees, and I have a surprise for you guys. I've got something that Miss Penley's going to be wearing that'll be a funny surprise. So until then, happy planting!